This lesson is all about how to find the equation of a line. So, the title of this lesson is Point-Slope Form. And the gist of it is this. If you know the slope and one point on any line, then you can find the equation of the line. Why would you want to find the equation of the line? Well, once you know the equation, you can find many other points on it, or you could also graph it. The standard form for what the equation of the line looks like is ax plus by plus c equals 0. So we're going to do some examples here today, and our equations are going to look like this, which means that sometimes we're used to seeing expressions, or rather equations, where there's stuff on both sides of the equal sign. We might see that when we do these questions here today. But in order for our equation to be in standard form, we have to bring everything over to one side of the equal sign. And there's also some other things we have to keep in mind. And they are this, that A, B, and C are integers. So they can't be fractions, all right? But we're going to be using fractions. Oh, so then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to stay on the lookout. We're going to have to make sure that if we encounter a fraction, we have to turn it into an integer. And here are some other things that we also must keep in mind. A and B can't both be 0. One of them could be 0, but they both can't be 0. Also, A cannot be negative. So if A happens to be negative, then we have to multiply or divide both sides by -1 to make A positive. B and C, they can be positive or negative. A has to be positive. Let's go ahead and do some examples. So here's the first one. Write the equation of the line passing through the point 3,5, and the line has a slope of 2. So there is a point slope form of the line. It is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. When we see that, we should recognize the letter m. The letter m is universally used in math for the slope. So that means when it says the slope is 2, a 2 is going to go in the spot where we see the letter m. Okay, fair enough. What about x1, y1? Now, x1, y1 is what we're used to seeing when we talk about a point. We have a point, x1, y1. And if we want to find distance, or midpoint, or find the slope, we would also have a point x2, y2. But in this question, we just have a single point. So that single point is going to be our x1 and our y1. So then, this is our x1, and the 5 would be our y1. So everything that's highlighted will just be substituted into this equation. So it becomes y minus 5 equals 2 bracket x minus 3. And now we need to focus in on this part right here, because we have this 2 in front of x minus 3. So the 2 will get multiplied by the x, and then the 2 will be multiplied by the negative 3. In the meantime, the left side stays as it is. So 2 times x is 2x. Then it's going to be 2 times negative 3, which is minus 6. And remember what I said a little bit earlier when I said that everything has to be on one side. And x must be positive. If we take a look, x is positive right here. So x can stay put. So that means everything on this side of the equal sign will be moved over to the other side. When things move from one side to the other, their signs change. Positives become negatives, and negatives become positives. So we have 2x minus 6, and then the y comes over and becomes minus y, and then negative 5 comes over and becomes positive 5. Rewriting this, we're going to put the x first, so 2x, then the y, so that's minus y, and then minus 6 plus 5. Minus 6 plus 5 is minus 1. And now we have an equation of a line in standard form. So that's what we have to do. And we're going to repeat that a few more times. So the next example says write the equation of the line with a slope of negative 2/3 passing through the point negative 4, 5. We are going to set up this equation the exact same way. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So our m is negative 2/3. Our x1 is minus 4. And our y1 is 5. So substituting that in, we get y minus 5 equals negative 2/3 times x minus negative 4. Minus a negative means we're adding 4. Now, also at the beginning, I said that no fractions. So when we have this fraction in front of this bracket, we have a problem. And it really just means this fraction multiplied by this whole bracket. So what we can do is multiply both sides so the fraction goes away. Okay, what do we need to do? Well, the problem is the bottom number. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the whole right side by the bottom number, which is 3. We have to do the same thing with the left side, but the left side is 2 different terms. So we have to put it in brackets, and then we have to multiply it by 3. Now, we're going to go ahead and expand the left side. We'll take 3 and multiply it by y, and then 3 times negative 5. So 3 times y is 3y. 3 times negative 5 is minus 15. Now, what we end up getting on the right side is a little bit of magic. So let me show you. On the right side, I want to focus in on the 3 and the negative 2/3. So 3 times -2/3. 3 is just itself over 1. So you end up getting 3 times -2, which is -6 over 3. So you get -6 over 3, which is -2. It's no coincidence, and it'll happen every other time you do this, that when you multiply this fraction by the bottom number, you are going to only get the top number, so it's -2. So it's going to clean things up really nicely because it's going to be just -2 times x plus 4. X plus 4 does not get multiplied by the 3. In the next line, we will multiply x plus 4 times the -2. So 3y minus 15. And now we'll multiply the -2 by x plus 4. So -2 times x is -2x. -2 times 4 is -8. And now, which side should we go to? To make this decision, look at the x. Right now, it's negative. We don't want it to be negative, so let's bring it over to the left. And if we're moving it, then we'll also move the -8. Everything will go to the left. So 3y minus 15 plus 2x plus 8 equals 0. Then we'll simplify. X comes first. So 2x plus 3y minus 15 plus 8 is -7, and that is equal to 0. And that is an equation of the line that has a slope of -2/3 and passes through -4, 5. Let's do a couple more examples. So we'll start off with this one. Write the equation of a line passing through 1, 2, and 4, -8. So this question is different because it gives us 2 points. Well, we know that if we have 2 points, we can find the slope. So we're going to find the slope first. Anytime you want to find the equation of a line and you're given 2 points, find the slope. So the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It doesn't matter which one's 1 and 2, so we're going to get -8 minus 2 over 4 minus 1. Okay, so that's going to be -10 over 3. That is going to be your slope. Okay, now we have our slope. Now, in the previous examples, we took the slope and a point, but we have 2 points here. So does it matter whether we take this point or this point? The answer is no. Take any point you want. Now, my suggestion to you is take a point that is easier to work with. Well, these numbers are smaller and they're both positive, so it probably would make the most sense to take 1, 2. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. If we're taking 1, 2, then our y1 will be simply 2. Our slope is -10 over 3. And our x value is 1. Now, the problem here is that 3. So we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 3. And on the left side, that's going to give us 3 times y, which is 3y. 3 times negative 2, which is minus 6. On the right side, the 3's will cancel out, leaving us with negative 10 times x minus 1. We're going to have to simplify that on the next line. Negative 10 times x minus 1 is negative 10x plus negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10. Which side should we bring the stuff to? Well, x is negative, so it's not good here. Let's bring it over here, and we'll do the same thing with the 10. So we have 3y minus 6 plus 10x, take away 10, equals 0. Writing our x first, 10x plus 3y, and then we have minus 6 minus 10, that is minus 16 equals 0. There's our equation of the line in standard form. And now, let's do a word problem, and this is a little different. Nick sells pizza in order to raise money for him to buy Fortnite skins. He charges a flat rate for a large pizza, plus a certain amount per topping that you want. A 4-topping pizza costs $18. An 8-topping pizza costs $24. So plot the graph. Okay, so we have to go up to at least 10 toppings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. So this is the number of toppings. The price goes up to 24. I'm going to round it up to 30. So let's even say, we're going to say something like, we got 20 grid squares here. Let's say every grid square is 2. So let's say that's $10, $20, $30, $40. And we're going to say that this is the cost, and it is in dollars. So the 4-topping pizza is $18. So that means we're putting a dot right here. An 8-topping pizza is $24. That's right there. And then once we have those 2 points plotted, well, then we can join the points. Because anytime you have 2 points on a line, you can connect them, and that will give you the line. So let's go ahead and do that. So there we go. Not perfect, but it'll give us a general gist of what it looks like. Looks like its starting point is about $12 there. Okay, that's what our graph looks like. I did use a ruler, and you should use a ruler too. Whenever you draw a line, make a nice straight line so that it's clearly seen that you've used a ruler. Okay, so that's our first step, is we're plotting the graph. Okay, now what's next? And well, part B is, what's the equation of the line in standard form? Okay, well, what are our points? Our points are 4 and 18 and 8 and 24. Yep. So let's find our slope. M is 24 minus 18, 8 minus 4, 6 over 4. Now we're talking about money, so we can use decimals here. We get 1.50, which basically means $1.50 per topping. That is the meaning of the slope in this question, that every topping costs $1.50. Okay? Now, as we've seen before, when we have 2 points, we could pick either one to find the equation of the line. So y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. Now, this is going to be 1.50. Your y1, let's use this point over here, y minus 18, bracket, over here on the right side, x minus 4. Now, the problem is that is not an integer, it is 150. So what we could do to make this nice is just take everything and multiply it by 2. So on the left side, 2 times y minus 18 is 2y, take away 36. Now on the right side, we don't have a fraction, so that means that we are going to have to take 2 and just multiply it by $1.50. So if something costs $1.50 and you buy 2 of them, well, you end up with 3 of them. So 3 bracket x minus 4. 3 times x minus 4 is 3x minus 12, 2y minus 36. Now, x is positive, so we're going to bring everything over to the right. So the 2y is going to come over and become negative. The 36 is going to come over and become positive. So 3x minus 12 minus 2y plus 36. So simplifying, we get 3x minus 2y plus 24. That is our equation of the line in standard form. Whew. Okay, now, part C. Using the equation, what would the cost of a 5-topping pizza be? Now, in this equation, x is the number of toppings, y represents the cost. And if you're unsure of that, we can just take a look back at this right here. These are your x values. They represent the number of toppings. The y values represent the cost. Okay, so when we have a 5-topping pizza, that's x. So we're going to see where x is. We're going to replace it with 5, and we're going to solve for y. Okay, so we're going to take that equation, 3x minus 2y plus 24 equals 0, and we're going to replace x with 5. Minus 2y plus 24 equals 0. So 3 times 5 is 15. Minus 2y plus 24 equals 0. Now, the 15 and the 24 are like terms because neither one of them has a y attached to it, so we can add them together. So 39 minus 2y equals 0. To solve an equation, you need to get the letter by itself. So to start that, what we'll do is we'll take the 2y, we'll bring it to the right, and it'll become positive 2y. So 39 equals 2y. And then we'll divide both sides by 2. So y is 39 divided by 2. So the cost of a 5-topping pizza is $19.50. So that's how we can use equations of a line to model the cost of a pizza.